Introducing mini docu-series Uraga Garifuna on the Battle of the Drums page. Hear the stories of our people. See the world through our eyes. Be inspired. Find your story in ours. Let us tell you who we are. The Battle of the Drums, Uraga Garifuna, live on Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Battle of the Drums Facebook page. The Battle of the Drums initiative is about the preservation and the retrieval of the Garifuna culture. A big part of that culture is in the name. We are talking about the drums. In this episode of Uraga Garifuna, we're going to find out more about the Garifuna drums and just how impactful they are to the Garifuna culture. Meet Joshua Arana, Master Drummer and Drumming Instructor.
Josh, how do the Garifuna drums differ from other drums, specifically the African drums? What's the difference? What differs it?
Personally, I don't see Garifuna drum being different than any other drum. The only difference is like we could easily say, we could look at it from this perspective. There's no such thing as race in the world. There are different cultures, but there's no such thing as race because there's just the human race. All drums are one and the same, and all drummers are one and the same. There's no drummer without a drum, like there's no drum without a drummer, right? And drum will play different roles within different societies, but one of the primary roles that drums play in different society is to invite people to the culture for them to be able to learn more. People are attracted to music, and drum is an international instrument, national and international instrument. It is used, like I mentioned, for different purposes. For us, in the Garifuna culture, we use it for spiritual purposes, and we also use it for celebration. Use it to serenade, use it for different aspects of the culture. But generally, drums are one and the same.
When it comes to the drums, you've got beside you the Primero and the Segunda. Can you explain to me the difference between the both?
Primero is more a masculine, in terms of the wider aspect of the culture, plays a more masculine role. Our fathers used to go out and do different chores, and he would improvise based on where he is, whether he is fishing, farming, he improvises. So this drum plays pretty much that role. It plays different variation, and it also improvises. Okay. This one plays a more feminine role because our mothers are the foundation of our society, our family, and our culture. And this drum sets foundation for every rhythm. So because it sets foundation like our mothers do, it's fitting to give it more of to say it plays a feminine role and give it more of a feminine gender. So we say Segunda and not Segundo. This one is Primero.
So how do we differentiate between the two? You just made mention of, you actually give gender to both, right? But how do you determine that the Segunda is a female and the Primero is a male?
Well, again, we're looking at it in terms of roles that they play, right? Our mothers set foundation for families, society, and our culture. This drum sets foundation for every single rhythm in our culture. Any Garifuna genre where drums are played, this drum sets foundation for every rhythm by playing a steady beat. I could give you a simple example. Paranda, it is constant. Punta, Wanaragua, it's constant. Right? Like our mothers, in our families, in our societies, they say if you want anything in culture to survive, what do? Teach it to the women. Right? This drum plays different variation and also improvises. What does it? It improvises based on the feeling of the drummer. The song that the drummer is trying to interpret through song. Dancers. And depending on what is happening around, whatever that person is feeling. So while you have a steady beat for punta, the drummer can improvise. Those are different type of improvisation. It's based on different feeling. Okay? But our mothers
constant with one. I can't help but to notice, Josh, that a while ago you actually held the Segunda in a different fashion than you held the Primero. Why? Why is that?
When I play my Segunda drum, if you notice, I would play my Segunda drum and I would keep the snares aligned this way, right?
So basically, I have it horizontal.
Yes, because it allows me, or it allows the snares to play the role that is there for, right? If I play an open beat, I won't be hitting the snares. If I'm doing the press, I won't be hitting the snares. But if I do this, right? So I'm not allowing the snares to play the role that is there for, and at the same time, I'm messing up my fingers.
So is it customary to the Garifuna culture, or is it just you personally?
I think it is. A lot of people would not know or would not be able to verbalize why it is that they do certain things, but people will find ways. And I see a lot of drummers would do the same thing, but would not be able to tell you why they do it. But if you pay close attention, you could easily notice that as a drummer, that if you continue to do this over a period of time, it will affect your fingers. Now your primero, our primeros here in Belize are smaller. So if I'm playing an open beat, I'm hitting this. Okay? So it's easier for me to.
Okay. So Josh, the Garifuna culture with respect to how it means or what it means to our country. There's so many questions to be asked because there are a lot of people would want to know. And so therefore it begs me to ask the question, how many genre of Garifuna drumming currently exist?
Genres. So we have punta, and here paranda, and here chumba, gunjay, wanaragua, hugu, and here uguledu. Uguledu will be the rhythm that we play in the dabuyaba.
How do those genres actually differ in playing styles across different Garifuna communities? Is that a possibility?
I think the genre represents the same thing. So Gunjay represents Gunjay, Wanaragua represents Wanaragua, Hugu, Paranda, same thing. But there are different influences. So when you're Garifuna drummer in an English-speaking country has a different influence than a Garifuna drummer in a Hispanic-speaking
You're talking Belize and Honduras,
Yes,
Belize and Guatemala,
Belize.
because its songs are slightly different, but it's doing the same thing, saying the same thing.
So, the English language has a more foundational setting melody to it. Like I said, a more foundational setting melody. But the Spanish language sounds like it has a lot of improvisation,
Yeah.
a lot of embellishments and all of these things. So in Belize, when you would, and it also influences the singing. For example, Aurelio and the Palazzo would say, Andy would say, Lanarmela mi se lu bawaho, Yaruri haya, right? But Aurelio would say, Lanarmela mi se lu bawago, Yaruri haya, influences by the Hispanic language, exactly. So if the singing get influenced by the language and the rhythm of the language, then it also influences the drumming.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Josh, I like that you said that, because music is often considered a universal language. But do you think the same can be said for the drumming? Is it the same? Is it different? You just gave an example of Andy Palacio and Aurelio Martinez. So one Belizean, the other Honduran.
Yeah.
But we're same brothers.
It's one and the same.
So what do you think of that?
They're one and the same. If you take drums from every country in the world, and you put them in one public space, if you hit one, every other drum vibrates. They're one and the same.
That's a deep conception. That's a very deep conception. But at the same time,
Hold on to this drum.
okay, sure.
Just put your hand on the drum.
Okay.
Just put your hand on it.
Do I tilt it?
No.
Do I,
Just put it. Put your hand on it. Does it vibrate?
Yes, it does. The Battle of the Drums Secretariat actually started the Battle of the Drums to at least impact the lives of Garifuna people, or actually showcase Garifuna drumming, because without the drums, then what are we? What are your thoughts on this? Is this something good? What are your thoughts in terms of drumming, the Battle of the Drum Secretariat, at least starting somewhere? What are your thoughts?
I like what the Battle of the Drum Secretariat is doing with regards to the competition, ensuring that there's a platform for younger drummers to be able to express themselves. This new direction with regards to educating people about the culture through drumming, I think that's an important thing. So I think now to add the education component of what Battle of the Drums has been doing for years helps to showcase that the Garifuna culture has different aspects. But all of these aspects of Garifuna culture ties right back into one Abba, which is important for us to understand. The whole concept upon which the Garifuna culture was built is the concept Aubung Amuruno. And when you abbreviate that concept, it spells ABAN. Abba means one. Aubung Amuruno means I for you and you for me. Because it's a social, spiritual concept upon which the Garifuna culture was built.
Joshua Arana, Garifuna drummer, extraordinaire. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think that's enough talk. Let's sit back and get to some drumming. Joshua, show us your skills on the drums. The first genre is hugu hugu. The second genre is paranda. The third genre is punta.